During this presentation, I will focus on teaching, learning and assessment strategies. Inclusive approaches and strategies for the management of diverse learners focusing on equal opportunities. Strategies for differentiated teaching, learning and assessment. And outline steps for my professional development and analyse the development of my subject knowledge and teaching skills. Evaluate how inclusive learning has changed my practice and discuss the development of my functional skills and how I have supported my learners with theirs. So let's get started. What is inclusive teaching and learning? Inclusive teaching strategies refer to any number of teaching approaches that address the needs of students with a variety of backgrounds, learning styles and abilities, and these strategies contribute to an overall inclusive learning environment. So no matter what background or ability, every learner has equal opportunity to learn. It's important that you use appropriate teaching strategies that suit the needs of your learners. Direct and undirected questioning is a good way to assess your learners' needs in a quick and timely manner. It's important to support diverse learning needs and learning styles of all learners within your group. Many people recognise that each person prefers different learning styles and techniques. Learning styles group common ways that people learn. Everyone has a mix of learning styles. Some people may find that they have a dominant style of learning, with far less use of other styles. Others may find that they use different styles in different circumstances. There is no right mix, nor are your styles fixed. You can develop ability in less dominant styles, as well as further develop styles that you already use well. Ensure that you use a range of assessment strategies such as observation, one-on-one feedback, written feedback and questioning. But most importantly, ensure that all of your feedback is person-centred and tailored to the needs of the individual learner. One-on-one feedback enables a learner to receive individual guidance, which is detrimental to the learning experience. My group consists of 11 females and 8 males, which on the scheme of things doesn't really seem like much of a gender split. A 2012 FE Students by Gender and Subject Area chart shows the following results. As this chart shows, in 2012, Creative Arts had 63.6 females and only 36.4 males, showing a clear imbalance in gender.
Think of ballet and you think of point shoes, tutus and pirouettes. But here at the London Coliseum, that stereotype is being challenged. Tonight, it's all about the boys.
My attempt is to show a century of male dance in 100 minutes. Great, important developments have happened since the beginning of the 20th century. Just as much as you hear about the feminine movement and how a woman gained the right to vote and, well, the man gained the right of center stage.
The Ukrainian dancer Ivan Putrov is the man behind Men in Motion, a production featuring 15 short dances performed by some of the biggest male stars in ballet. Edward Watson, a principal with the Royal Ballet. and the contemporary dance star, the young Argentine Daniel Proyecto.
The show is full of testosterone, so I think that's good in its own. But no, it's a lot about energy. For the last 100 years, everything has changed. Men is bringing new creativity, new ways of doing things into the stage, and I think that's attractive on its own. And Ivan wants to really make like a review of all those years and bring the new visions, the new ways of doing things now.
Dance is one of those art forms that just gets lost for kids. They don't have the opportunity to even get involved.
Dance gets lost, full stop. I think, you know, in the last 10 years that we've seen it come to the fore a lot more, and we're starting to accept it more. It's very strange. It's the same in the UK as it is here. You know, it's not really accepted that guys dance for some reason. You go outside of Europe or outside of the US and you know, you start going towards Russia. The Red Army has got an incredible bunch of dancers in it. The Georgian state dancers are, you know, the men are in, you know, ridiculous splits about 9 foot up in the air. You go to Africa and, you know, South Africa, the Zulu nation, the most feared warriors that used to be, you know, in past history, incredible dance routines. And it's accepted for men to do that. And here we shy off. As babies, we're the first to dance. You know, put a piece of music on and every kid will start dancing. As we get older, we start being a little more reticent about it until, you know, you only end up dancing at weddings after a few drinks.
And it's funny that if you add singing to the equation, it's almost more acceptable for guys.
Yeah.
If they become pop stars,
Yeah.
it's a little more acceptable. But solely with just dancing, it isn't.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's, and especially when you put on a pair of tights and do ballet, you know, it's just one of those things that carries with it this sort of, if you're a dancer, you're homosexual. And, you know, in this day and age, what the hell first and foremost? And secondly, why should you be labelled in anything that you do?
And how do we get that sort of idea to change? That
Get rid of the ignorance about it. I think people are starting to change. I've certainly have a lot of fathers now that would have, you know, stopped their sons dancing, come up to me and say, wow, I didn't realize how athletic you needed to be. You know, you need to be gymnasts nowadays to be a dancer. And a lot of dads now support their sons. Okay, you wanted him to be the quarterback, but now he's going into the San Francisco Ballet. And they're thrilled because they do realize how tough it is and a short life, and you've got to be so passionate to do it.
It's important to consider a range of dance styles that fit the needs of both male and female performers. And don't make assumptions based on gender, which helps to influence inclusivity. Ability should always be based on the individual and never on the gender. Always ensure that you have differentiated tasks during sessions which are tailored to the specific needs and abilities of learners. Assessment should also be tailored to the learner based on their learning ability. A good way of understanding individual learning needs is via an individual learning plan. Individual learning plans form a route map of how a learner will get from their starting point on a learning journey to the desired endpoint. They may be for one course and include the acquisition of qualifications and skills, or may link several courses that give progression to different levels. They should be individual for each learner and reflect aspirations, aptitudes, and their individual needs. Follow up on how people found sessions, and who are the best people to ask for advice on this? The students. Development courses are a good way of learning new things and also brushing up on skills that you've already learnt in the past. Developing functional skills is an important part of development as a professional. Subject knowledge is a significant factor throughout the learning process. Whether planning work, checking learning, diagnosing pupil weaknesses, designing tasks and resources, presenting information, asking questions, or giving formative and summative feedback, good subject knowledge is crucial. An effective inclusive teaching and learning environment must begin with the basics. Consider the needs of your learners using Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Make information available to students about when it's best to contact you. Understand the makeup of your students and think about how you can support their diverse needs. When you first meet your students, introduce yourself and talk about your interests. Make it clear how you want to be addressed and explain how your role as a lecturer or personal tutor supports their learning. When introducing a new unit or new session, have handouts prepared, also providing learners with electronic versions. Experiment with different resources. Ensure that your assessments are accessible. You can do this by using electronic resources such as WordPress. This means that you can provide feedback in a timely and efficient manner. Use accessible language within your sessions and be careful not to use any vocabulary that may be confusing. Ensure that you provide efficient feedback on a regular basis to all of your learners, preferably on a one-to-one basis. Remember, it's okay to get it wrong, as long as you figure out how to get it right. Functional skills are an absolute must. Therefore, it's imperative that you brush up on these skills if you need to in any specific area. Embedding literacy and numeracy can be difficult, but it's important that this is done as learners need to develop these skills. I support my learners with their functional skills via assessments and in sessions by giving feedback. I am continuously developing my functional skills throughout my PGCE programme, specifically focusing on my numeracy skills. Functional skills are the essential elements of English, mathematics and ICT. They are a key element of the 14 to 19 reforms, helping young people to develop higher levels of principal skills in English, mathematics and ICT, which they can apply to real-life contexts.